Hello everyone, welcome to my course presentation. In this presentation, I outline the business case scenarios through the steps that I implement to support these scenarios in the bike sharing system project. First of all, I outline the business process that is the bike renting, the user management, and the billing processes, which were my major points of focus. The bike renting process is initialized by registered users, of which you find out that these users will be able to access bike renting services such as accessing docking stations using their account, tracking their rides. They're also notified to their billing as well as the amount of time they are being charged. In this process, it will be packed up with a map indicating the location of the docking stations, of which I can share as one of the documents in this part of presentation so that you can just have a look at the map. The information about the number of bikes available in each station and the location of the rented bikes. And this information is important to keep tracks for the bikes as well as advise riders on the availability of the bikes. User management, in this case, the riders' information that is in their full name, their email address, their phone number, billing card information that will be stored in a safely encrypted information. Remember when we are talking about the encryption, data encryption, how we can store our data in a more secure way. So in this case also we looked at how this management of the bike system in this series can be kept in a more secure form, can be stored in a safely encrypted information data system. This system will keep track of users. Those, when you're talking about the users here, we are talking about the riders who writes the billing information as well. The riders' feedback as well as any extra bills charged will be stored in the information system database. Okay, the most important part here is the billing, and it's more sensitive because you find out that this is where you more of riders or the users personal information. Let's take for example the cases of use their credit cards, the debit cards, or the way they pay. So this is a very sensitive part. The billing is the most sensitive process in the entire system, as it is the final. And in this process, the rider is billed for returning the bike to any of the docking stations. The tracking system will provide the information needed for the time spent using the bike for a bill to be processed. And a rider can opt for an annual membership which is charged at $70, or an unlimited number of bikes, or rather a daily charge of $5 for a day pass. Moreover, a rider is also charged based on the time they spend in the bike. For any ride less than 30 minutes, no extra charge is billed. $1 for a ride between 30 minutes and an hour, and $3 for rides between 1 hour and 2 hours, while riders over $2 have a $7 charge fee. The system should automatically bill the customer's credit once the ride is complete. A $50 charge bill is on riders who do not return the bikes after every 10 hours. The description of the information system architecture that includes the software and hardware component is the next step. And in this case, the system will follow the three-tier architecture, which is also known as the client-server model. A three-tier architecture is a client-server architecture in which the functional process logic, that the data access, the computer data storage, and the user interface are developed and maintained as independent modules on separate platforms. This architecture, you find out that this architecture has several advantages, as including the reduction of the dependency between the layers and the concurrent development in where possible, and each layer can be developed and maintained without affecting other layers. As a high data security, as the access to each other can be controlled. The cloud will offer a platform as a service to host system software as well as the database. And this will greatly improve the overall performance of the system and other performance measures such as availability. Another thing we are going to talk about is the biking system mobile application that will enable users to process all the processes required to unlock a bike, ride, bill, or dock the bike. This one, depending on the subscription of the user, they will be able to unlock a bike by scanning a QR code generated by the system, of which from their mobile phone they can easily do this using the regular camera phone, the smartphones, the cameras in their smartphones, and from the mobile phone the rider can see the charges depending on the time they have used the bike. Thanks to the GPS device on the bike and the physical components of the bike sharing system that include the bikes, the docking stations, the computers, the cameras, the CCTVs, and the general requirements for the rider to access the rider services include: one must have a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer, an internet connection, and of course a valid credit card or any billing method, and any other billing method. And finally, security is a vital entity in this entire system and includes sensitive payment information for the riders. All transactions shall be processed through an end-to-end encryption process, and all handshaking protocols will be put in place. Firewalls will be configured to ensure only safe, secure, and authenticated access to the systems are allowed to process the transactions. Secure data backups will be put in place to ensure the fallbacks are real-time in case data is tampered with. All users with a bad reputation will be barred from using the system until they seek approval from the management. Alongside these projects, I designed a data flow chart using the case model as well as class diagrams to help demonstrate the working logistics of the system. For the success of the project, docking sites for the bikes, develop the required applications, purchasing the required hardware, installing and testing the systems at large. Thank you, and have a nice holiday. Thank you.